Hey guys, just doing a video on the different types of ways that you can pump up a motorcycle tyre on the side of the road. I had a mate, Gary, actually sent me up all this stuff here. I mean, I feel like a bloody kid at Christmas time. It's great stuff. He actually sent me all the different ways that you can pump up a tyre, but he also sent 3 different ways that you can fix a puncture on a tubeless tyre. I run tubes on these 2 bikes, so for me it's of no use. But it certainly, he actually sent me up a wheel. He picked up a wheel from the wreckers as well. He really went all the way. It's actually a back wheel off a Kawasaki. So that's a tubeless tyre, and in the second video I'll be able to put punches in this and then fix it with the different things. But this video is only about the 4 different ways. I think it's going to be 4 different ways that we can pump up a tyre. Move that out of the way. Basically, there is the hand pump, a foot pump. All these are really compact little setups. A little mini compressor and the CO2 canisters. So what I'm actually going to do is, I've got a big tank compressor. I'll let down this tyre on Harry until it's basically out to nil, and then pump it up with that, which should take about 60 seconds. I'm then going to use my air compressor that I carry with me, so that we can judge this against the little mini compressor, and I reckon if that works as good as that one, I'll be definitely hanging on to this one. So each time I'll let down the back tyre to 0 and then pump it up, and basically it's just going to be what I reckon. We'll be able to, I'll time it each time, and we'll see how long it takes to pump up a tyre, whether we can pump up a tyre with all the various things to the right. We'll be going to 40 psi. How much effort, and then look at the pros and cons of each different one. After this video I'll do another video, and that'll be the different punches. Now, actually I said all that, but in this puncher set here, actually I'll grab this set up too. It's the CARGOL stop and go. Now this is a key setup for fixing punches, but in here I've noticed they've got this big tube and 2 valve clips where you clip it onto the tyre. Well, I think what the idea is if you've got a flat tyre there, you can fix your puncher and then you clip this one and this to the rear and then the other one to the front, and you share the air between the 2. So I suppose if you've got 40 and say 40 in the front, you wouldn't have 40 in the front I don't think, you'd most probably have about 35. But I'll say 40 and 40 because that's 80, and then I know that you should have 20 psi in the rear and in the front. But we'll find that out when we give that a test. I don't think it's a very good idea, but we'll find out. Alright, let's get stuck into it. First thing we've got to do is let down the tyre. Here's my little tool. Okay, so got me compressor bumper-upper. So basically we've got to get it to 40 psi. I'll be using the slime. There goes the compressor, it's just kicking in. Up to about 20 psi. I'll be using the slime gauge for all of it, so I've got the steady. We're using the same thing for all of it. Now I know this gauge is a little bit out on this, it's just a cheap one. Alright. 40 psi, and that's taken 56 seconds, thereabouts. Cool bananas, on to the next one. So little mini compressor, here we go. This is a noisy bloody thing, but it gets the job done. So we'll plug that in, and we'll start that going. There you go. Hopefully you can see that 40 psi. Okay, so my little compressor from dead flat to 40 psi took roughly 13 minutes. Okay, so now I'm going to use the mini compressor. Oh. Well, there you go. I can't test that because it's the wrong type of lead. I don't have a lead to, I can't use that. Yeah, I've just taken this cord out. I expected it to have a cigarette lighter adapter, but it doesn't have one, obviously for saving room. So, sorry Gary, I can't test that. I wonder, actually I've got a battery minder thing that I used to have connected to it, but the battery on this bike's, and because it doesn't get put away or hibernated, I don't need to use it. I might see if I can do that, use that, and I'll hook it up to power, not to the bike. Come on. Okay, so I've got that hooked up. Hopefully, I don't blow this up. I have to plug this in. Jesus, scared the bloody shit out of me. Alright, it's going to work. Alright. Can't believe how much that fucking scared me. So, turn that on. Let's reset. Oh, have I got... Ah! Man, it's still hot air. I've got to let the air out. Okay, I've let the air out. So, we'll hook this on. So it's just a screw-on type. Alright, plug her in. I'll most probably go and have a cup of coffee while this pumps up. If there's anything like the other one. Okay, I'm not going to get scared this time. It just stopped. I seen that there was a button there. I thought it might have turned on the light, but it actually turned this off. And I thought, oh, that's a great idea. But then it stopped at 30 psi. It doesn't feel hot. I don't know why it stopped. What did we get to? Holy shit.
Oh no, that's 30. So it's got to 30 psi, and actually that gauge and this gauge are pretty close. So I'll let some pressure out just to see if it's got a limit that'll only pump to 30 psi. So that's like 18 psi in there now. It's oh, bloody hell. Oh, I don't believe it. It actually had an adapter. And I've gone and ripped off all my seats, went and found that thing, and it's got that, and it's actually even got little jumper lead things for that. There you go. I should look closely. But it doesn't have any instructions, so alright, we'll whack it back on. This is why you should always test your gear before going on a trip. Know your gear before you use it. It's just not working. Alright, so yeah, don't know what this. I'm going to put all this stuff back together, give that a chance to maybe cool down or whatever it's done, and then we'll give it another shot. Alright, so it's been, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. I've put all the seats and stuff back, got rid of the other thing. So now I've hooked that on, using the thing I wish I had seen before. I'll now plug that in and see if this thing starts up. That's plugged in. Oh, look. No, the light's working. We'll start her up. Alright, so that's set 40 on there. Oh, that's actually 41. I don't know if you can see that. Alright. So apart from this stopping halfway through, I don't know what it was. Something to do with that switch, or I'll actually give this another run right from the start, but I'll do that later. Yeah, having that was a whole lot better. Not having to take all your seat off, which was a real pain in the ass. We ended up with 21. Now I'd let some air out of that when I was first testing it, so we'd most probably call that, I don't know, 18 minutes, but then it went over 41 to 41 psi. So I suppose 16 minutes to pump it up from 0 to 40 psi. It's great that it has that switch, you can turn it on and off, whereas my one, you plug it in and bang, it's straight away going. Alright, so I'll let all the air out, and we'll either do the hand pump, the foot pump, or the CO2 cartridges. Okay, next we've got is the CO2 canister. Have to put on your little rubberised doobie. Apparently it gets very, very cold to the point where you can burn your fingers if you're hanging on to it. I've let down the tyre, so we've got no pressure in there. Got a little adapter. No use having that if you don't have your adapter. Make sure it's turned off. I should be able to just screw that into there, break that seal. Should be it. And then we put that onto here, so we'll start this. Turn her on. Okay, so that's the first one in. We'll see what pressure we get out of that. That looks about 7. So now we have to take that one off. Load another one in. Make sure this is turned off again. There we go.
that's 11 PSI. Turn that off. So that's 42 PSI. Whew, well, there you have it. So the CO2 canisters, I got to 42 PSI and got to 38, and that was using 2, 4, 6, 8 canisters. To get over the 40 mark, I had to use 8, hang on, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 canisters. That's a lot of canisters. Now obviously, well, you don't have to get it to 40 PSI, so you know, you could get away with having, you know, just a fuel which will get you out of trouble. And how long did that take us? 8 minutes 35. Yeah, I don't know. This is what I used to carry. It was only when I done that last one that I took the air compressor with me. But yeah, I don't know about these. Alright, so that's done. I'll let down the tyre and we'll use the foot pump next. Okay, so air's back to 0, 0, zip. Now we're going to use the little foot pump. Start the timer. Alright, here we go. Oh, that's saying nearly 50. Oh, okay, about 41.5 PSI. And that took 10 minutes. Stop. Obviously a little bit more effort. Okay, so the foot pump. Yeah, just over 10 minutes to pump her up. A lot more effort. The gauge is not accurate, but it's a great guide. Yeah, so there you go. Alright, might have a little rest. I'll let the tyre back down again and we'll give this hand pump a go, which I'm not looking forward to. That's alright. Okay, the next test is the hand pump. This is a dual action hand pump. So that means that when you draw it out, it's pumping air out, pushing it in, pumping air out. So it's 2 times faster. Now, I've just noticed on my bike I have the valves that come out like this, and that makes it really difficult to use this particular pump. If you've got a bike where they just come straight out like that, you can get that. Oh geez, even on this back one, man, that would be really, really hard to get that on there. Yeah, so that's a bit of a downfall. But I should be able to get this one on mine. Like I know on the intruder, they've got plenty of room. So and the valves just come straight out. So yeah, both of them have plenty of room. Unlike this one. Locked it on there. Oh. We'll start pumping. Now obviously with the hand pump, this one doesn't have a gauge to see how you're going, so you just got to obviously take it off and just check it with your whatever gauge you have. milking a bloody cow. It'd be easier if, I don't know, if it wasn't in this, using it in this angle. Oh. Right. 26 psi. I'd like to try and get to 40. I'm sure given the time I could do it, but I think this has just proved itself. Yeah, it'll do the job, it'll get you out of trouble, but there's too many other options to have instead of having this one. So 26 psi in I don't know, 11 minutes, and there you go. All right. Okay, guys. So the last test I'm going to do is with the CARGOL stop and go key puncher thing. It has this big long tube that you can put from the rear tyre to the front tyre. I think it's going to work more for cars because I normally run 40 psi in the rear and 30 in the front. So basically half's going to come out of that front, which means I'm going to be running 15 on the front and 15 at the back. I mean, it would get you out of trouble, but we'll see how it goes. So I've got that hooked up on the back. There you go. Effectively, I can hear it. There's air moving, so it's obviously moving from the front to the rear. Once I hear that stop doing that, we'll then take it off and see what pressures we come up with. Okay, so it's stopped. If I take it off that one, I think the air's going to rush out of the front, so I've got to be really quick at doing this. Oh. Youch. Alright, so they're off. Let's see what we got in the back wheel. So I've got 10 psi in the back. And I've got 10 in the front, which obviously sounds right, it evens it out. So 10 in the, so somewhere along the line I've lost 10 psi. So now I've got a putter on 10 psi. And that's not really good. I suppose, you know, in an emergency situation you can get yourself out of trouble, but you run the risk of you know, braking hard or taking off too hard. You can rip the valve from the tyre. So I would say that's a fail big time for a motorbike, that is. Okay, so here's my verdict. If you're at home and you need to pump your tyre up, use a tank compressor. 60 seconds and you're done. What was the next thing I did? Oh, my compressor, which I already knew, works well. The difference between this compressor and this compressor, now I actually let down the tyre again just to give this another shot because it did seem to stop when it got to about 30. I let the tyre back down and I just finished running that and it got all the way to 40, it didn't stop or anything, it would work beautifully. The difference between these two was that I found once you got to about 30 psi on this one, you had to start the motorbike to get it to 40. I think you might, if you had left it, it would eventually get there, but it takes a hell of a lot longer. This one, I didn't have to start the motorbike at all, and it got to 40 psi in about 15 minutes. So I think I'll be keeping this one, thanks Gary, because that's a hell of a lot more compact than this one. And it's even got a handy little light. So yeah, so that's that. As for the foot pump worked. You could get it to 40 psi. No, I mean, it's pretty strenuous doing it. You know, if you're out on the bloody side of the road or somewhere and happen to use it, it's a pain in the arse. But at the same time, it worked. It got it. The only thing that I've found now is I can't hook this bloody thing back over. So I don't know what's happened. So now that's what it is. So, you know, a lot of people think that, you know, with the manual stuff, you know, they don't break, but that's kind of like already partly a bit funny. But anyway, it works. The hand pump, again, that's a great little tool, but it's a lot of work. Damn lot of work. If you've got smaller tyres, maybe it might be a bit better, but you know, on the big cruiser tyres, that's just a whole lot of work to use that. I only got it to about 26 and then gave up. If I had kept going, I would have got there. But it works. It will get you out of trouble. CO2 canisters. That was really surprising. I mean, I've seen other reviews, and they normally say that when you first do it, you get about 20 psi out of it. Well, the first one that I put on, and I did it a second time just before, just to have another double check, and I got 6 psi. So I ended up using 9 of these stupid things to get it up to 40. So realistically, I think you'd need, I don't know, 4 or 5 to get you out of trouble. And that's a lot of canisters. And the problem with these is that, you know, you've got to buy them. Once they've been used, that's it. You've got to go buy more. Whereas the other stuff, you buy it once and that's it. So again, they work, but I don't think they're the best thing to use. I think that's that. That's all of it. This thing was just ridiculous, really. I don't think it's just useless. Maybe pull these off and use it to siphon petrol out of your tank. So my thoughts on that is, see you later. Okay, that's what I'm going with. It fits on, doesn't matter which way your valve stem goes. It worked really well. Some of the other ones are a bit funny with the connection, but that was a nice strong connection. That gauge there was very close to this gauge. In actual fact, this one showed just a little less than this one. I got it to 40 on this, and it actually showed 42 on this one. So most of the other ones were quite a way off. Anyway, I'll do another video which will be the Punture one. But for now, keep on riding, guys.